Thanks very much, Stuart. We've all had a turn in the barrel here. It started with Mike Allison doing an overall presentation on what we do on iHelp, and Harry Lewis was on at the last meeting, and now it's my turn in the barrel. So I don't know how much and how many of you have picked up from these different talks. Hopefully everyone's getting an appreciation of our group. Our group consists of about roughly 10 people, and we run a support service for phone-ins for our members who ring in with their problems. And our hours are between 10 a.m. and 3 p.m, although quite often we're working well outside those hours, quite often, sometimes weekends, etc. So it gains a lot of admiration from especially older people who have relatively small issues with their computers, but they don't understand a lot of the things about their own computers, and they just need the help and assurance. And quite often it's that they really appreciate the chat, especially if they're on their own and don't have a lot of contact. Anyway, I was just going to read out a few things that we've done. We work on the premise of the theme for our Melbourne PC, which is members helping members, and we're all members, and that's exactly what we do. Like a lot of our volunteers throughout do that, this is a very direct one. So we have some older members who are very regular callers, and our iHelp people know them pretty well. We have some that we almost hear once or twice every week, and we've heard from them for the last few years. Unfortunately, some of them are getting a bit of dementia and progressing, to worse dementia situations. But anyway, we continue to try and give the maximum help we can. Sometimes the issues that they ask about is not necessarily for computers. I had one of our regulars ring me on a weekend. He got hold of my mobile phone number and thought, oh yes, well he helps people, so he rang me and told me his smoke alarm was going off and how could he stop it. So this was Saturday afternoon about 6 o'clock. We were out, this was pre-COVID, so we were out at the Craigieburn, I think it is. It's Craigieburn. It's the what do they call it? The Botanic Gardens out there. Anyway, I still remember it because suddenly I'm getting this call about a smoke alarm. So it was fairly straightforward, fairly easy to help him. But these are some of the things that we get to try and help members. This particular Melbourne member has picked me as his personal assistant, and I get called different times. And as I said, not just in our time slot. And I've said to him, well, Gary, why don't you call on our helpline? Oh no, I like you, I like talking to you. So I'm going to have to change my mobile number so he can't get hold of me anymore soon. Anyway, he's a very nice guy, and he's even given me a couple of bottles of wine at one stage. This is over the last year when I've been helping him about 4 days a week. So a lot of this we put on our reports, but I get him so often, and I very rarely put him in the report. It's only if something unusual happens that's of interest to our reports. We write daily reports on the calls we get so that we can refer to them, and we also have statistics. And quite often, Harry will show the statistics in some of the reports that are presented to Melbourne PC. The main problem with Gary, I'm just going to give you an example, so I'll pick on Gary, is that he's just somebody who has issues with his memory. He can't remember where, he writes things down and then he can't remember where the piece of paper was that he wrote the thing down on. So I said to Gary, can you get a book and write it in and then keep the book next to you? Oh, yeah, well, I don't know. I haven't got a book. So I actually gave him an exercise book that I had spare here. I wrote his name in it. I put his password in, his membership number, and all the details that I thought he might need at that stage. And I said, just write everything in that book, Gary, Anyway, unfortunately, that still doesn't happen, but we keep trying to help them. Now, one of the things with COVID-19 is that we used to have a home visit group, which I was in, but quite a few of our members are on this home visit group. And we're located in different parts of Melbourne. So if we get particularly elderly members who can't travel and can't, very limited in their movements, we will then arrange for a home visit to fix their problems. We do use things like TeamViewer. I'm not sure if everyone knows about TeamViewer, but it's a method of connecting to the member's computer so that you can control it and then you can show them what's wrong and how to fix it. We ran into problems with TeamViewer because we were using it so often that TeamViewer decided that whoever was using it so often was therefore commercial. And so they'd say, right, no more, you're going to have to pay membership. I actually spoke to them at one time. I found a phone number for TeamViewer and said, look, we're a not-for-profit group. We help other people with computers. Is there some way we can get TeamViewer for our whole group? And they said, oh, yes, well, we'll arrange this. We've got a special price for groups like yours. Anyway, they quoted me about $850 a year. So this was their special discount. Anyway, one of the other things is that with Windows 10, Microsoft now have their own system similar to TeamViewer, which is called Quick Assist. And the problem with some of these is that the member who's having problems has to be able to at least be able to click on the Quick Assist logo to then bring it up and then give you the information over the phone so that you can then connect to them. So sometimes this can be a problem as well, but added to that, TeamViewer, which then sometimes also says the person you're trying to connect to has a very old issue of TeamViewer, they have to upgrade it. And sometimes trying to get people to upgrade it is a bit of a problem. So we have to constantly try and work around these sorts of issues. Quick Assist is good when it's running, and we can then go in and fix things on somebody's computer. And they're usually very minor things. Gary, again, pick on him. He'll say, oh, I'm totally lost. I can't do a thing on my computer. Nothing's working. And then when you finally can connect, which is a bit of a trouble, you've found that he's just got his email fully open, and therefore he can't see any other applications that he can get to. And so, there's a lot of little things like that, but that we help. But then we also have issues with passwords, people who forget their passwords. The problem with passwords is that they use them once, they're permanently logged in for maybe a couple of years. Something happens, they get a new computer or a new hard drive or whatever, and then suddenly they have to find their passwords again. So these are the sort of things. So we have a couple of our people who we limit that to, so that only a couple of our people can issue the passwords, and then get them going again. What else have I written? Okay, so we get variations in complexity of questions and support. I believe there was one question we've had from one of our members, and they're in the process of changing their, I don't know if you're there, Harry, but there was one of our members needed help because they weren't sure that if they changed to a new computer and a new system, whether they had to transfer all their emails and everything else over to their new computer, or whether that would happen automatically. So, Harry, are you there at the moment?
Yes, I'm there. Okay.
Okay. So my reaction would be no, you wouldn't need to, but hang on to things, because if there's any problem, you can do that later if you can connect up your hard drive externally. But you might like to answer that, Harry.